An urgent warning for people traveling back and forth from Mexico. Officials say cartel members near Brownsville have been placing explosives along the roadway. The News 4 I-Team's Jordan Elder found out who they're targeting and why officials in both countries are urging you to be careful.
Don't touch, don't move, don't manipulate. Residents in Tamaulipas, which is across the border from Brownsville, woke up to a concerning message. Cartels are placing explosives like these along the roads.
It's a shame that those are images I thought I left behind in the combat zone in Iraq and Afghanistan, and now I never in a million years really thought that we would be seeing that so close to home.
Patricia Driscoll grew up along the border, later serving as a military contractor.
People who are from there, we don't think of our Mexican border as a war zone, and we don't want to.
She says this message is alarming for people in border cities who cross back and forth every day.
People thinking, well, I'm just commuting to work. I'm just commuting to see my family. And now I have to worry about terrorist-like devices.
This is a 24-hour command center that we have here in the border on the U.S. side.
Security experts like Jorge Luis Cisneros are watching these threats closely. His company provides protection for companies in the U.S. and Mexico.
The cartels are fighting each other, but they're not looking to hurt Americans or any travelers that are the foreigners.
Some are still worried this could be retaliation or a warning. President Trump signing an executive order this week designating drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
I'm not sure that it changes their behaviors anymore, but it is definitely time for them to see that the United States is not going to allow it to continue business as usual.
Long-term violence could have big impacts on the economies of both countries.
Millions and millions of dollars that are coming back and forth, and we have to protect the people that are involved or working there.
Congressman Tony Gonzalez represents several of those border cities. He tells us action is being taken to curtail cartel activity. Quote, Mexico needs to play a vital role in this, and current interactions between the United States and Mexico's government officials are rooted in improving safety and security initiatives across the board. So far, there haven't been major threats in cities like El Paso, Eagle Pass, or Del Rio, but as tensions rise, officials are urging travelers to be careful. Jordan Elder, News 4 San Antonio.
They need to take one person by one person and investigate it. And if they are bad, then take them out. But most of them, they are good people.
That was one of the people who took part in a protest on the south side earlier this evening. They say they aren't happy with the Trump mass deportations of undocumented immigrants. This is what White House border czar Tom Homan told ABC News this morning.
It's not okay to violate laws of this country. We have millions of people standing in line, taking the test, doing their background investigation, paying the fees that want to come in the right way.
ICE agents are now able to enter churches and schools to arrest migrants who are suspected of being in the country illegally. That is causing uproar from some locals. News 4 San Antonio's Phil Sterling has more on how they're responding to the news.
The San Fernando Cathedral, like many other churches around the nation, is filled with people on a Sunday afternoon. But now they could see federal arrests take place in their place of worship. That's causing people like Alberto Riz to feel uneasy.
I thought the church was sacred,
Churches used to be considered sensitive areas during the Biden administration. But since President Trump retook the Oval Office, that has changed. Ruse says he understands the country needs to protect its borders, but also feels sorry for those looking for a better life.
It seems like every 4 years we have something that changes.
A Department of Homeland Security spokesperson released a statement saying criminals will no longer be able to use America's schools or churches to avoid arrest. They say the Trump administration won't tie law enforcement's hands and trusts them to use common sense. In an interview with ABC, border czar Tom Homan says this is nothing new.
Name another agency. Another law enforcement agency that has those type of requirements that they can't walk into a school or a doctor's office or a medical campus No other agencies held those standards.
Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar says his office has not yet been asked to participate in any sort of federal operations.
So I can tell you, I have no interest in going into jails and or schools and churches to pursue people. Now, if a violent crime takes us to a church or a school, that's something different.
The Archdiocese of San Antonio shared a statement by the Texas Catholic Conference of Bishops saying, quote, "The bishops of Texas will continue to work with governmental officials and other people of goodwill to implement policies that recognize the dignity of every person, prioritize family unity, and address the root cause of forced migration, while respecting the right and responsibility of our country to secure its borders, regulate immigration in an orderly process, and maintain the rule of law, and keep its communities safe and peaceful." Rees says that he understands we're going through a change at this time, and it can be hard on all of us, but thinks there has to be a better way to secure the country. Reporting in the studio, Phil Sterling, News 4, San Antonio.
All right, thanks, Phil, for that information. Governor Greg Abbott is reacting to the deportations tonight. He posted a few hours ago on X saying, quote, "Texas Department of Public Safety troopers and special agents are deployed to assist President Trump's Homeland Security investigations in removing undocumented immigrants." He also said DPS operations will expand in the coming days. A U.S. Senate investigation of a migrant child's death in 2023 finds poor health care at border facilities. According to the Texas Tribune, the 8-year-old Panamanian girl had sickle cell anemia and heart disease when she crossed the border with her family near Brownsville in May 2023. The Tribune reports that contracted medical personnel at the Harlingen facility didn't call doctors, didn't log encounters with the girl, or write down her medical history. The report recommends CBP reduce the wait times people spend in custody, sharpen medical care oversight, and ensure it's meeting staffing needs. For continuing coverage of the crisis at the border, you can listen to our award-winning podcast, Immigration Crisis: The Fight for the Southern Border. It's available in both English and Spanish wherever you listen to your podcasts.